The civil services are among India's most coveted professional options. They're also the toughest to crack. The UPSC exam is, in fact, legendary. But now, one young woman has brought disrepute not just to the bureaucracy, but her case has also raised serious questions about the entire process and the entire system and the checks and balances within the system to ensure that its integrity is held together. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. Today we're looking at the unseemly controversy around a woman called Pooja Khedkar. By now, she's a national headline. In fact, for this whole week, she has been the top Google trend in India, mostly because people are so shocked at her story. This is somebody who now stands accused of falsifying two things to become a civil servant: her disability. She said that she suffered from both visual and mental disability, and now she stands accused of having falsified that and having, in fact, evaded proper medical tests. And she also stands accused of having basically misused her caste status. Her mother, as you can see in those visuals, a viral video of her has surfaced brandishing a gun in a village where they've been accused of land grabbing. Puja herself, when the controversy broke, was transferred. Now, the Modi government has announced an inquiry panel, and it's quite clear that she will be sacked if she is found guilty. But many are asking why that hasn't happened already. Why is the transfer the answer? Now, remember, a cursory look at the affidavit that was filed by Pooja's father. He stood for Lok Sabha elections on a ticket from the VBA in Maharashtra, revealed that he had declared assets of more than 40 crores. The wife, Pooja's mother, has assets amounting to 18 crores. These numbers by themselves make it clear that Puja is from what is called the creamy layer of the other backward classes and therefore was not entitled to any special affirmative action. But even this was bypassed, as was her ability to claim a disability. For the record, the UPSC did challenge her induction, but yet she was taken in and even given, as we know, a posting, after which the only penalty has been a transfer. To explore in a sense, the rotten core of what this story is exposing, let's introduce our guests on the program today as we look at the story and the scandal around Pooja Khedkar. Joining us is Shekhar Dutt. He's the co-founder of Sleepy Classes. And on Twitter, or rather X, after this controversy erupted, he said that this has brought irreparable damage to the reputation of the civil services. Also joining us is Shailesh Gandhi. He's one of our best-known RTI activists. He's also been a Central Information Commissioner and is also an author. We're also joined by Vinita Deshmukh, who's, of course, a very well-known journalist and activist based out of Pune. And also joining us is Sanjeev Gupta. He's a former IAS officer. His last deputation was in the Home Ministry, and he has a very interesting series of comments on his social media about how till last year, actually, all of the right alarms were sounded in rejecting Pooja Khedkar's candidature. So how did she bypass all of those obstacles at this time to become an IAS officer? I'll start with you, Shailesh Gandhi. What leaps out at you in this case? There's so much to unpack here, right? There's clearly a nexus with politics because she has a father who's contested an election. She has a mother who's a sarpanch of a village. There's some crazy video, unsourced. We don't know the date, where you can see her arguing with villagers, even brandishing a pistol. We'll play that in a moment. And you have this falsification of caste certification, of disability, the refusal to take proper medical tests, demanding a beacon on her private Audi. What does this case say to you, Shailesh?
What it tells us is that we don't have a rule of law. It's something we must admit. We paper over this and say so-and-so is guilty, so-and-so is guilty. But the fact is the rule of law is almost non-existent. We rank worldwide number 79 in terms of rule of law index. And unless we rank in the first 10 or 20 in the world, we will not be, I repeat, we will not be a first-rate nation at all, no matter what else we do, no matter how many $1 trillion business you do and GDP you grow. What this shows is completely broken. And we don't know how many others may have gotten like this. This is just one example which has been exposed. There'll be others who are not exposed. And the problem is we are not able to punish people. We raise a lot of hullabaloo when a person shenanigans are exposed. After that, there is no follow-up. And the chances of her getting convicted, because this is a criminal offense that she is engaged in, the chances of getting convicted are extremely rare. We have time after time, almost every week, we have one problem or the other coming up. And we talk about it on TVs, on newspapers, and say, oh, so bad, we condemn this. And then we move on. We have no accountability. And if a case does go to court, it takes years.
Yeah. When you see these images that I'm just going to play for you, right, where you actually see this mother brandishing a pistol, and we'll play out this clip for you with sound a little later in the program. But the images tell their own story, Shailesh. What do these images say to you? It isn't just about Puja. It is about an entire family that believes that somewhere they're above the law.
I believe it's about an entire entitled category of people in the country. Those who have power and money know they can get away with anything. They are almost certain. There's 90% certainty they will get away. There's only a 5 or 10% chance that they'll have to pay for it. And therefore, this will keep growing. Those who are powerful and rich.
So
equality before law is torn to shreds every day in our day. In our courts also, some people get preference, the others lag behind. We have about 75% to 80% under trials in our prisons. We deny them their liberty without a process of law.
Yeah. So you don't seem very convinced that there is going to be justice served or anything going to change after this case. And before I come to the others on that, I want to play out Pooja Khedkar's statement. The media has, of course, been trying to get a statement out of her, but she will only keep repeating that she's not authorized to speak. Still, let's play out this clip and then I'll open up the debate. Take a look.
I am not authorized to speak anything in this matter. मी तुम्हाला कालही तीच गोष्ट सांगितली होती that I am not permitted to speak on these matters by government rules, so I cannot say anything. नहीं, actually I am not authorized to speak on this matter. मी तेच सांगते, मी ह्या मॅटरमध्ये बोलण्यासाठी ऑथोराइज नाहीये, त्याच्यामुळे मी ह्याच्यावर बोलू शकत नाही, म्हणून मी बोलणार.
Mounting questions, no answer coming there from Pooja Khedkar. Vinita, you said today that this in some ways is a scam that runs so deep that it's comparable to even the NEET scam. What made you say something like that? Why do you think that the scam is of that scale and that proportion and not just the story of one individual who represents the corrosion of the system?
That's because, like what Shailesh ji said, that you have power, you have money, the Ambanis have money, they can have a great marriage, have a beautiful house, that's fine. But here the power, what kind of power is there? That first of all, she is a probationary officer, which means she has not been, she's not yet an IAS officer. And yet the whole state government, the bureaucracy, everyone, the police, they are under so much pressure that as a probationary officer, she can well be terminated if I am not mistaken. And secondly, just to save her, she is being sent to Washim, which is known as for supernumerary position, which means there are already a lot of people there, but she's going there as an excess. So basically, to distract the attention, she is being shifted there. So my question is, who's the godman? Why is the chief minister, the chief secretary not able to just terminate her services? And that's where the question is. And not only that, that the father is audacious enough to threaten the tehsildar that be careful, you are dealing with a female IAS officer and you are going to be in big trouble. That's what he's threatening. He used his powers. And can you imagine the audacity of a probationary officer that she herself goes and removes the furniture of the additional collector, makes space for herself, makes a board name, comes in an Audi with blue, red, whatever the beacon light. So how can anyone do it in so openly? And in this day when the media, electronic and social media is showing continuously that she is just doing everything wrong, and the entire system is mum. So obviously, yeah, and by the way, she has scored some 834th in her IAS score, and sir will tell better, but I think only the first 100 can become IAS officers. How the hell has she become an IAS officer in the first place?
I'll put that. I'll put that to Sanjeev ji in just a moment. But I have a question for you. You raised a question. Who is her godman? Why was she not terminated instantly, given the gravity of the charges against her? So you believe that she has someone who's protecting her in the system, Vinita?
Absolutely. There is somebody protecting her, who probably there is a lot of money deals going on, because of which nobody can just raise their height even if they are in power and say, please terminate her. There is some one-man committee being instituted, that were the central level. So what's going on? Who is this godfather? Who is it? The chief minister is under pressure too? Is it the center putting the pressure on state? See, it is a very, very serious issue. It is of such a huge crime, because there are students who are working for, studying for 8 years to get into IAS. And here this girl comes, stands 834th, and fully becomes additional collector, and that too of her hometown. She was earlier given, I think, Parbhani or something, which she declined. Her father made it Pune. That is the kind of the power this family has. Either in the entire, I'm sure, political, bureaucratic system in the state and the center. Otherwise, it cannot happen. And it is a neat scam. It's IS scam. We have already heard about some other political leader's daughter recently.
So you are saying this is comparable to the NEET scam. And before I get Sanjeev Gupta and Shekhar to come in, I want to play out 2 clips of her mother, because, you know, Vinita and Shailesh have both spoken about, in a sense, the impunity, the broken system, the entitlement, actually the lack of fear. Like, what I see in all of this is a lack of fear of any consequences. The media gathered at the house of the Khedkars to try and get a response, and the mother shouted at them. This is with courtesy to a local news organization, Punekar. I want to play out this clip for you. Take a look. So there she was shouting, and she was actually saying, I'll get all of you locked up. Vinita, am I translating it correctly? What was she actually saying there? If you can tell us.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it properly. Sorry, I didn't hear it properly. But yes,
but that's
she did
the gist.
say that.
That's the gist of what she's actually trying to say there. And yeah, and then we have another clip that we can play out for you. This is an older clip. Remember, she's the Sarpanch. And so this gives you a sense of that impunity and you know, the lack of fear. Vinita, you wanted to come in? Yeah. Yes.
You know, the height is in the letter that the collector wrote to the state government complaining against her. She has given him a message that in other cities and in other appointments, the additional collectors of my status have been given all these luxuries. So I am not asking anything which is out of turn. So I am wondering whether the new lot of IAS officers are coming by influence into the administrative system and actually crumbling, collapsing, and completely spoiling the image of the high-placed IAS editor that we looked at. She had the audacity to write a message saying this, that others get it. Why not me?
Yeah, let's take this to Sanjeev Gupta and then Shekhar Datta after that. Sanjeev Gupta, you please, because it's a technical matter, if I make a mistake in my understanding, please correct me. You have said that last year she made a similar set of attempts and she was caught. She was not cleared. This year also the UPSC did actually contest her induction, but she was able to go through despite that. How does that work?
Thank you, Barkha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Barkha. I would go a little beyond her claim to the non-creamy layer, because that's very obvious. Her own property return, which she filed on 23rd of January 2024, lists out her personal wealth at about several crores. Her own wealth. I'm forgetting about the father. Let's park that aside. I'll deal with the physical disability and also try and explain as to how this problem, how this malaise can be far deeper than what we see. Some people have posted a video of an IAS officer of 2010 batch dancing away with Sunny Leone, and he was recruited under locomotor disability, LD. Somebody has to be 40% plus ability only, then only the person becomes locomotor disability. That person has resigned from service, fine, he's gone. This person also came into limelight because she threw so many tantrums before she joined.
Yeah.
What would have happened if she didn't send those messages, didn't occupy additional collector's room, didn't ask for that car, or didn't use her father's car, her own car, with that official number, a VIP number plate and a Maharashtra Shasana, etc.? Things would have not been noticed at all. So it's a very, very serious issue whether some cases are going unnoticed. As per the procedure, Union Public Service Commission issued a letter on 20th of October 2021 as to which all disabilities shall qualify for reservation under which services. So for civil services examination, they have listed other examinations also. Civil services examinations, it's orthopedically handicapped, visually impaired, hearing impaired, or combination of one or more of above three. For whatever good or bad reasons, they do not have brain-related issues as disability for the civil services examination. But this girl, I must say, she's really smart. What she did was, she not only showed herself as visually impaired, she also called that I am having problems of brain-related problems or mental issues. Just to be in that subcategory of reservations for physically challenged people, wherein there were 8 seats reserved and there were very few combinations possible. Because some people will be visually impaired, some people will be hearing impaired, but a combination of above 3 is very difficult. So she tried to bring in another one, and then she went to the CAT. And she went to the CAT even after knowing that her first time attempt at this had been rejected by both UPSC and DOPT. She had 679 rank 678 got IAS, rank 680 got IAS, but she was not given any service because her claim was rejected. And still she had the audacity to ask for it again. It's really the height of heights. People are wondering as to why she asked so many things.
I'm so sorry if I'm asking an unintelligent question, but how, after the UPSC contested her induction in 2023, how did she become an IAS officer after that?
Okay.
If the UPSC is not convinced that she should be in, if the UPSC is questioning the process by which she has got that certification of being disabled, how has she become an IAS officer?
Okay, that's a very important question.
Two, were there no background checks done on her personal wealth, her parental wealth? How was she not marked as a member of the creamy layer?
Let me come to the first one. There is every year, whenever civil services examination is held, there is a detailed circular by the DOPT, not UPSC, So the medical checkup, etc., is to be got done by DOP, the Department of Personnel and Training. So there's a circular of 23rd February 2023, which categorically says that anybody claiming to be under the PWBD category, which is persons with benchmarked disability category, they have to appear before a specially constituted board in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences and nowhere else. It's categorically written there. It is also enunciated in that circular that this person will be given only one opportunity. And if the person avoids medical test, the person's candidature shall be cancelled. This is 23rd of February 2023. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that despite these unequivocal provisions, these were thrown to winds.
By whom, sir? Sir, by whom?
Well, either of the two. In this case, I'll give you the sequence. So the CAT, Mumbai, they decided on 15th of March 2023, that a request for reclassification of reservation categories, that this multiple disability, MD, which is visually impaired, plus this other one is brain-related challenges.
Yeah, mental disability. Yeah.
So CAT said nothing doing. We have come at a very late stage, belated stage. It is not there. But then her interview is still conducted because a provisional permission was given to her that you can appear before the interview board.
Well, those
interview happened on 26th of April. My question is, and I'm very, very aghast, that in the end of May, when the results were declared, she was still included in the list of selected candidates without a medical certificate till then, because she had been avoiding all through.
So the point is, how does that happen? And I want to just hold that question because I want to bring in Shekhar and then come back to you on that. You have listed all the lapses, all the gaps, things that don't make sense. Who's accountable for that? Shekhar, your job is to help people become UPSC toppers. But today you stand disillusioned with the entire process. You feel this case has damaged the reputation of the civil services irreparably. You even went so far as to say, this is a day when you sometimes feel like disbanding UPSC. Go ahead with what you're feeling today.
Hi. The only thing that I'm feeling for the last couple of days is that everybody, all the media institutions, everybody would move on. They will have newer stories to cover, but students, as ma'am rightly pointed out, students they might not. They will be tarnished, and they will be I don't know, their mental state would not be the same. They would keep considering that a fair chance of getting selected is no longer there. So speaking from that perspective, I've also appeared in UPSC. I've also appeared in interviews, and I was waitlisted once. So at times it makes you wonder whether you could have made it, or maybe there was
today you question your own not getting in. You of course adopted another avatar of helping other people to clear the UPSC, but today you wonder if the system is fair.
Right, exactly. It feels so bad. My Twitter inbox and some of the students that I know personally, they're messaging me consistently on WhatsApp. If there are other lapses, if there are other students who have been I don't know, they got selected and speaking. So I just want to speak on students' behalf and even on my own personal story that I've witnessed all these years. And as Vinita ma'am rightly pointed out, students, they prepare for not only 3, 4, 5 years, they prepare for 7, 8 years. And today they feel like this. Are they even spending their time, all their entire time wisely? Is it the right thing to do? Do they even stand a chance because they're not connected to anyone? Most of the students that we cater to, we started as a YouTube channel, then we have started providing low cost courses. Most of the students that we cater to, they either come from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, or are particularly women who cannot really go to cities like Delhi and prepare and spend a lot of money. So I'm not sure, because even today morning I spoke with a student and she was feeling pretty bad, and she was saying, I do not really know anyone. I'm not connected, whether I stand a chance. So
all of you feel that it is the system. It is not just puja. There is a system that enables a puja to take place, and we are getting comments in our audience stream. Please take actions against her. Why has she not been sacked? This is actually a criminal charge. She needs to be prosecuted. Why has she just been transferred? I want to come to you, Vinita, because I know you may need to leave a little early. Just stay as long as you can. Let me bring you in. Going back to your idea of a godfather. A god, someone who's protecting her. Where do you see, you're right there in Pune. If you look at this family, the father was also he was with the Maharashtra Pollution Board, right? And how does someone who has served in the Maharashtra Pollution Board have assets of 40 crores? I don't know. The mother is a sarpanch. The daughter claims to be a doctor, but then actually, ironically, ducks every single medical test that is required of her. She claims disability. Who is protecting them, according to you, Vinita?
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just saying offhandedly, it's been many years, but I know that suddenly a minister had just said that these are the guys who had never undergone any IAS program, nothing, that they should be elevated to the IAS cadre category. So this was 15-20 years back. So I feel that the ball rests at the state government, because finally she is in the Maharashtra cadre. So obviously there is somebody there who in the higher political circles has either taken a lot of money for elections through her father, who's got like 20 shops, 7 flats, 1 kg gold and whatnot, and 100 acres of land. You see, and it almost seems as if the father is the don who is threatening in everywhere. He has threatened the Tehsildar. He's obviously threatening even in the upper echelons of the Mantralaya, and that's where they're all getting scared and under pressure. They've just shifted her. And did you see her aura? She is so cool when she's answering the media. If something had happened to somebody like you or me, we would have been so frightened. All she did is locked on social media accounts and fully telling the thing that I'm not supposed to speak, which means, and this is going on in media, which means it is the state government, it is a top person in the state government who has allowed her to later on give a private medical certificate for her mental disability. 6 times she was called by the AIMS. Like sir said, only they called once, but she was called 6 times and she didn't come. So her audaciousness, the father's audacity to threaten the government servants and bring out the gender issue of sexual assault, etc., almost there, even with the collector. And it is only thanks to the collector who picked up guts to give a complaint to the state government. And it's because of RTI activist Vijay Kumar, who brought up all those documents, that it has become a national issue. So now they will just buy time and they will just say, we have anyway thrown away in some washroom and life will go on. And that is a tragedy, which is, which is something that you feel so strong about. But what can you do? Can we see such corruption to such a below the belt level? And we have to just keep quiet. That's my question. That how do these chief ministers, home ministers, chief secretaries, police couldn't even go to a house, as we have seen, to get that car into the saying that she's not allowed to have this car. So no law enforcing authority, no legal authority, no state government, Mantralaya, a bureaucrat, no one can do anything to her. She is untouched and calm, as if she knows that life is she's going to have a great career ahead. Thank you.
Shailesh, do you agree with Vinita that it's the state government that is answerable and that you can't overlook the fact that the father has contested a Lok Sabha election, is very wealthy, has 100 acres of land, 43 crores of declared assets. The mother has another 18 crores. This lady herself has several crores. That maybe there is a political nexus here. There is a funding, because why should, he's contested on a ticket from the VBA and lost, but there could be other benefactors also. We don't know. We simply don't know. But that might explain the impunity that we are seeing here, or the brazenness that we are seeing here.
Her godfather may be anywhere.
Right.
My submission is we keep talking of each incident independently and say who's responsible, and we think and we know that whoever is responsible will never ultimately pay the price. We are almost sure of that. Unless we fix this, unless we get a better rule of law atmosphere in the country, this will keep continuing. We have accidents and we say, oh my God, this fellow is so rich and therefore he did this. In Pune, we have a car accident. We say, oh, this fellow is so rich, he'll do this. How long will we continue looking at each thing and not saying where does the solution lie? The solution lies with media and citizens saying, hey, saying that we'll teach ethics classes is no solution. Ethics classes will not change. But if your rule of law is better, stronger, and we are not focusing on that, India is not focusing on this at all. No Chief Justice of India, no Prime Minister, no media is talking of the fact that our rule of law is very poor. So long as our rule of law is very poor, this will keep happening. It'll keep repeating, and fine, it may make good news, good programs, but it will not resolve anything. My submission is we need to find a way of getting a better rule of law, which is easily possible.
Yeah. Can I ask you, Sanjeev? Vinita, I know you have to leave. We're just taking last comments now. I just want to stay as long as you can. Sanjeev, you listed the various gaps, the various points at which her induction could have been stopped by the law. Who is accountable for that not happening? How does this lady get inducted, spend a year at the academy? Like, is there no background checks on candidates, what they're worth? Like, I pick up the caste certification. Would they, and again, please forgive me if I'm asking a silly question, isn't it the job of somebody to look into the background of someone you're inducting into being a civil servant?
First, I'll complete the sequence, because you might have been flabbergasted that she was selected ultimately without a medical checkup.
Yes.
What happened ultimately was that in the first list of service allocation, her name was not there. 22nd of July 2023, her name was not there. That's it. 820 and 822. And then in the next iteration, when some people drop out, her name suddenly appears. So that means she was given no service in the first iteration. Then she was given this IAS in the second iteration. Who is responsible? I said dramatis personae, or the departments concerned are AIMS, DOPT, UPSC. Who is supposed to accept this medical certificate one way or the other? Well, in my view, though the circular dated 23rd of January 2023, I said February wrongly earlier, is issued by DOPT, but then even UPSC has to put its foot down. That last year we did not agree with this. How can we agree this year? And more importantly, when a name appeared, service was allotted, this could have gone completely unnoticed if she did not come to limelight. So a systemic rot which I'm talking about is the fact that only those cases are looked into which come on Twitter or television or electronic media or wherever.
Yeah.
Only those cases are looked into. Why?
So you are actually saying, just
I'm
to
talking
understand
about
this.
dismissal. I'm talking about dismissal from service. I have she's a younger colleague. It pains me immensely that a girl who's probably younger than my daughter, unless she is able to give any iota of evidence that yes, I got an AIMS certificate. Suppose, let's hypothetically assume my heart says that no doctor in AIMS will issue such a certificate, because even the definition of visually impaired is very, very serious. It can't be the kind of person who she is. If AIMS gave it, that even persons concerned in AIMS should be questioned and be sacked. DOPT people who accepted the certificate outside the norms of multiple disabilities, they should be questioned and sacked. UPSC people who didn't put their foot down, they should also be asked questions. And most importantly, the officer, unfortunately, should be dismissed from service under the provisos to Article 311 of the Constitution of India. Article 311 says that everybody shall be given an opportunity member of the service shall be given an opportunity before any action like dismissal or reduction in rank is taken. But there's a proviso where there's something very, very serious, something which is inquiry is not expedient. She should be given an opportunity. If she has anything to say, that should be taken into account. Otherwise, she should be just.
But you've said something very important. You have said, and Shekhar, I want you to comment on this, and then we'll take quick last comments from all of you. You have said that अगर इन्होंने पूजा जी ने शायद प्राइवेट चेंबर या रेड लाइट अपनी प्राइवेट ऑडी पे नहीं लगाई होती, इस तरह के टैंट्रम्स नहीं थ्रो किए होते, we may not actually have come to know of the more fundamental violation, which is faking disability and her caste status.
One more thing, just want to add. About the OBC certificate, this is issued by by an officer not below the rank of SDM. Whoever has signed that certificate should also be charge sheeted right away. However, signed a caste OBC non-creamy certificate for a person who's not. So all these people are involved, and it's time that we have to act tough. So many cases might have gone unnoticed. I'm again and again emphasizing. Only 2 cases you know so far. Abhishek Kumar, because he joined Bollywood, and this lady because she acted too smart in her.
So this Abhishek Kumar who joined Bollywood was also claiming to have disability.
Yes, orthopedically handicapped, and you love to see the dance moves.
Can we pull them out quickly if we can? I'd love to.
It's there somewhere. I mean, a lot of people have. So he resigned from the service. So everything should not be obliterated. The people who made him join the service in the first instance as orthopedic handicap, though of course he was high in the merit list. Yeah, but then he could have been selected on merit also.
But the other important thing you've said is, while everybody is saying why isn't Puja being terminated, you are saying that whoever cleared this, whoever cleared the OBC certificate, whoever approved this in DOPT, UPSC, AIMS, they too have to be prosecuted. Shekhar, you spoke for the students. You said students are calling you, भाई हमने क्या गलत किया, हमारे कोई political benefactors नहीं है, इसलिए शायद हमारे को chance नहीं मिलता. What would look like justice for these people who take the UPSC exam not 1 year, not 2 years, but often 6 bari, 7 bari? Shekhar.
Ma'am, we often talk about one example of, I'm not even sure if it's true or not, but since it was given in a book, we teach it to a lot of students. It's about TN Session when he was the election commissioner, and that he refused to sit down with one of the top political bosses, because he said that it is not only important to be fair, it is also important to seem fair, to be seen as fair. So in that light, I think UPSC, it's time that we've always maintained strategic silence because like earlier, because of US or Russia tug of war, we've always maintained a very strategic silence as a strategy. So I think it's time that maybe these top institutions they come out and they start telling, no, maybe this is not a scam, maybe possibly a fraud or possibly a lapse, but not a scam. So I mean, that's important. And like, kudos to sir, and he's speaking out. And
why do you say it's not a scam? It is a scam.
Oh, ma'am, it'll shatter. I don't know, ma'am. The trust would be gone. Like we've seen a lot of people from the top to the bottom rung and aiming to be a bureaucrat, and then and if it seems like that the system is totally gamed, I don't know where do we start a chance.
That's a very important point you've made, that if people start feeling that the exam system, the process is not fair, Shekhar, it would be
one particular question I want to ask Sanjeev sir. Is it because that only a top bureaucrat, for example the collector, when the collector got to know that such a thing is happening, the collector took on, and it was the collector who kind of refused to issue that number plate or something, and only a top person can take on a top person. Is there any scope or any possibility in near future where even a common citizen can say, no, you're not doing the right thing and I want to hold you accountable? Is there any possibility in near future?
This is where we have to ultimately head to. The collector normally what happens during probation, the probationer is treated as a child, a younger brother, and the collectors normally give the basic facilities. I mean, I got a small room whenever I was to be sitting in collectorate, otherwise I was made to move around in the field. I got a small room, but I had to walk all around. But then you're saying that because collector took it down, yes, that's why this case happened. But yes, if these certificates are put in public domain, in Himachal, where I was Principal Secretary IT, all these OBC, SC, ST certificates were all put on public domain, searchable by name, village, etc. This is what should happen throughout the country. Let people put the pressure from below. Let people say, okay, no, this guy is not a non-creamy layer guy. He's actually very rich. For example, in this case, it should have happened. So that pressure can be built up if these databases are put on the web. And what's wrong with that? It is not a secret. Ultimately, people are given benefit in accordance with law. One more thing. I will truly be very, very upset if AIMS has issued the certificate. Whatever I've been hearing so far, it's some private institute in Pune which has given that MRI of eye certificate saying that he's visually impaired. I do not know what the facts are. I'll be truly very, very deeply hurt if it is AIMS. I really respect that organization. But DOPT and UPSC accepting it and accepting it beyond the category to which she had laid a claim. If she was put in visually impaired, then the final result should not have shown her in multiple disability. And if she was adjusted against the seat of visually impaired, then has any other visually impaired lost out on account of this change in categorization? So a lot of things which are happening, and I think DOPT and UPSC both need to answer. UPSC, because ultimately they declare the result. Why did they declare the result without medical taking place?
I think that's a very important question. The thought that there could be another actually genuinely disabled person who was not able to get access to this opportunity is a very, very important thought. And also, Shailesh, I give you the last word to Shekhar's very heartfelt, almost clutching at last hopes that let's not call this a scam, because imagine what it would do to young people who devote years of their life trying to become a civil servant. Shailesh, last thoughts?
A problem.
Let me just, go ahead, Shailesh. Yeah.
Trying to look away from a problem will not solve anything, will not help anything. My submission is, at the very least, last 5 years certificate should be put on the web of IAS people who claim disability and have claimed EWS. Because a simple thing is, this girl claimed she was not from a creamy layer. I often shudder to think, did people not know she had an Audi? Did people not know that she had a father who was very rich? How could this be possible? Did the colleagues know? Did the bosses know? Did everybody understand? And nobody complained. That is telling us that there is a very deep-rooted problem. It goes far beyond Pooja Khedkar's issue. It is that we have a sick society, we have a weak society, and unless we go more transparent, we will continue like this.
All right, we will leave it there. We were trying to pull out the clip of the Abhishek that Sanjeev referred to, who you can now see dancing, who claimed a loco disability. It's tragic. It would be comic if it were not so tragic. I think that is the best way to put it. But as Shailesh Gandhi says, you can't look away from this rot, because there is rot in the system that has enabled this to happen under the nose of the UPSC. Leaving it there to Shekhar Dutt, to Shailesh Gandhi, to Sanjeev Gupta, and earlier to Vinita. Thank you. And to our audience, thank you as ever. See you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.